Hello, hello. Stephen Peterson here on the program Patterns for Progress because we're trying to get you to make some progress simply by changing one pattern. Uh, and I'm working on something. I got a friend of mine who's saying, hey, look, you got to offer something. And so I don't know if I'll have it ready at this program, but I'll have something that's free if you email me. And in fact, you can go ahead and email me at patternsforprogress@gmail.com. And when that thing is ready, I will send it to you absolutely free, postpaid. Actually, it's going to come over in your email, so it's not going to cost me anything that way. But I'd love to do that. And the whole program is trying to get you to change one pattern, one routine, one habit. Your whole life can turn. What has somebody said? A friend of mine named Mike said the smallest key can open the largest door. I've got a friend who's got this big ornate door and it's a little tiny key. Think about it. One key, one pattern, one habit can change your whole life if you're willing to give up one thing and do something new. Now, this is not my strength. This is not my expertise. This is not something I do naturally. This is something I struggle with. I'm the man when you give me a book and say, this is the greatest book and you've got to read it. I begin reading it from the middle because I want to see if there's something interesting. And if there is, I'll go back. Not all the way to the front, but I'll go back and forth. If somebody says I got 3 steps, I try to make it into 2. But in life, we live in patterns, habits, routines, and process. I'm a power person. I want something. I don't. If I watch somebody on TV say, "Look, you do this, and change will come slowly. It'll be incremental." I'll go, "What did that? Get off the TV." But that's really where we live. For all the monumental things that happen in our life, most of the time, I would think 90 to 95% of our time are just minutia things, either going against us or going for us. And it's amazing, just one change, just one. And so I've got some things here. Now, let me tell you something I do. Before I do, this is my little book I started months ago. 3 things I am happy about, grateful for, grateful. And right there. And I've got them written down, and I don't want you to see them. That's because it's none of your business. But I say it out loud. I say it over myself. I thank God for it. Say I believe in God, so I thank God for it. 3 things. And it's just something I do to try to keep my mind on track. But a little further back, this page and this page and this page are some things about me that I've heard or other people have said to me and I believed them and I've written it down. Now, I would have to say at least half of them haven't come to pass yet. But that's my script. There's 1,500 to 2,000 words a minute that's running through our head. And I'm trying to get into that process, words that I want to be said. What do you say about yourself when you're all alone? What do you say about yourself? I'm a recovering perfectionist. And man, I can spot every flaw. A friend of mine sent a little test. I don't know what it was, 700 little teeny tiny 9s, and buried in there someplace was an 8. How long will it take you? It took me less than a second and a half. He said, what? And I said, that's a perfectionist. I'm a recovering perfectionist. Perfectionists can spot what's wrong in everything. And usually that's why we don't make the progress that we should make, because we start to see what's wrong in what we're doing, so we shut down. I'm a recovering perfectionist. I'm looking for progress. So I got my little script here because I want to add to what's being said about me, what I'm saying about me. If nobody else is going to say anything good about you, make sure you're saying something good about yourself. And so I've got some things. I think it was 22 things. That's too many for me. So I've boiled it down to 3 or 4 of these 2 people working on a book. The Healthy Habits of Happy People. And I don't know if it's true, but I'm looking everywhere, you know. And the number one thing is they spend time alone. If you've always got to be around people. Now, look, if you're just newly married, this isn't so you can tell your wife or husband, I need to spend some time alone. But you got to be comfortable in your own skin. You got to be comfortable by yourself. You don't have to have, if you need constant reaffirmation of the people around you, and you want people around you, you want people not just to compliment you, but people who can see the potential in you, see the difference in you, see the uniqueness in you, and call it forth and call it out and say, hey, why aren't you working on that? But you got to be able to spend time alone. Otherwise, and the premise of this book is if you have to be around people, then you're constantly compromising. So those people let you hang around them. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't mind spending time alone. I've got a wonderful family, priceless family. I'd go anywhere and do anything with them. But I'm okay with a book. I'm okay with an article. I'm okay. A month ago, I was okay sitting on the ocean in Hawaii, just watching the waves. I'm fine. Little turtles would roll up. I swear they'd roll up and wave at me. I'd go, hey, man, how you doing? But I'm not getting up and jumping in and trying to follow you. I'm happy right here, spending time alone. And there's all sorts of things. In fact, there's several chapters on that. But I just thought I'd throw that one in. And speaking of Hawaii, these are 20 to 25 things, habits. Now, you don't have to have them all, but they notice this. And people who are just generally happier than anybody else, they spend money on experiences rather than on material things. Years ago, oh my goodness, kids were small. Back when there were actually Sears stores. And I went to Sears and bought a propane barbecuer. And it was like 75% off. I went, I'll take it. I don't care what it has. You know, you turn it on and it cooks. I can do it. But it was big. And we had a Honda van, and we had to take everything out, fold the seats down, put this thing. It took 2 or 3 of us to get out of the van. And my next door neighbor's wife said, stop it. We can't keep up with you. I had a Sears barbecue. You know what I mean? Now they're selling all these grills and smokers that will call you and alert you. And this thing just turned on and cooked. But it had a lot of chrome on it. It looked like, a 60s caddy. It had everything but fins. And she was so, I guess she was trying to keep up with us. I didn't think we gave much of a mark to keep up to. But growing up, we've always spent more money on going places. Can we go someplace? In the last 3 years, I've been to Hong Kong and Australia and Iceland and England and Hawaii. How do you do it? Well, money. I drive older cars that I don't owe any money on. And the money I would pay the credit cards, I try to pay myself. And we wait till tickets are really, really cheap, and we just go, and I say we, it's my wife and kids, we go and have the most fun we can go. In fact, the last couple of trips, people have said, can we come along with? And I'm not sure, I'm not sure we're that exciting. But there's just something, about, we didn't get to see the Northern Lights in Ireland. We didn't get to see them in Ireland because we didn't go. Didn't get to see them in Iceland. But besides being colder than I've ever been in my life, and being in stronger wind than I've ever been in my life, when it did snow, it looked like a Christmas scene in the old downtown Reykjavik. It was just crazy. I miss it. And part of Iceland, I felt like I was on the dark side of the moon. There's not a tree. The wind is howling. But there's just something, I still miss it to this day. A lot of times when I was flying in, I think I said to my son, hey, we're landing on the dark side of the moon. Who can live here? But when I left, I've missed it. So this study says people are happy spending money on experiences, whether you go bungee jumping or canoeing or kayaking, instead of just buying the latest gadget. Don't know if that's true. That's something I do. Hey, 28 things on the list, and there's 2 things I can do. Isn't that funny? The third thing, and again, I'm picking out the things that I think are the most important out of these 28. The third thing is they surround themselves with the right kind of people. And again, if you can't get healthy, happy people who believe in you, then start adding them on books, DVDs, CDs, CD-ROM, anything, the internet. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. Even if they don't know you, couldn't pick you out of a lineup of 2 people. If you have those people in your life, oh man, what a blessing that is. What a priceless blessing that is. And I just thank God for every person like that in my life. But we can add more people, people who can challenge us, people who believe. One of the sayings that I have over certain people: I'm convinced of better things concerning you. No matter what you've done, and again, if you're a perfectionist, you go, "Oh man, I did okay, but I need to do better." That's not the point. There's just more in there. Let's bring out. I'm not trying to get out of you what's not in you. I'm not trying to get out of me what's not in me. I'm trying to draw out of me and develop in me and refine in me what gifts I do have. I don't have, it doesn't matter if I've only got 3 or 4. I bet I can do something with those 3 or 4 if I identify them, focus in on them, and say that's where my time, talent, and energy is. My friend who said, you should start offering something for free just to see what kind of response you can get. He doesn't know it, but I'm listening to him. He doesn't know it, but I'm putting it on TV. So I got to get with him because there were some things he wanted to tell me about that. But I want to add value to your life. I don't have anything to sell you. I want something to sell you, not because I'm trying to trick you. Everybody has an agenda. My agenda is not hidden. I've been stuck before. I've been stuck, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was convinced I had a friend or two who could tell me what I was missing. But it was so simple and obvious to them, they felt silly telling me. Well, what's obvious to you may be just totally lost to me, and vice versa. We all have blind spots. We all can see things. I can spot that one little 8 out of 1,000 nines. Boom. But that doesn't help me get from A to B or G to H, or I don't even know where the alphabet goes, S to T, in the road to life. And here's one. And I'm going to throw this in because I like it. And it said, the happiest people reward themselves with little surprise gifts. I have a friend who is is it the Watch of the Month Club? And I don't want to give an ad for something. I have no idea if it's a scam. I don't have any idea. But I love watches. And this isn't a Watch of the Month. This is a 1977 Star Wars watch my son found. But that sounds fun to me, to get in the mail a watch every month. I'd be anticipating it. Some people want to be in the fruit of the month or chocolate of the month. I think we're better off in the fruit or the vegetable of the month. But some kind of surprise gift. Maybe you go and buy yourself a book. For people who love to read, go ahead and buy yourself a book. Spend some time in a old used bookstore, and just if you love books, and I have some friends who just love books. They love the smell of them, the leather, the paper. But do something to surprise. Now, I also know somebody who lost 50 pounds. He was so proud of himself, he went out and celebrated by eating an entire cheesecake. That's not the gift you want. That is not the gift you want. But something just to bless you, something to encourage you. And I like that because I'm looking to do, and again, I don't know if it's the Watch of the Month, but I'm looking to do something like that for me. And there's just something, and again, maybe it's my age, when fun things occasionally used to come in the mail. Now the only thing that comes in the mail is, telemarketers. I guess if it's in the mail, it's not a telemarketer. But look for something. Have something to put a smile on your face, a spring in your step, something like that. This whole program is called Patterns for Progress because I'm convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt if you change one pattern, if you throw one pattern out that's not working and add one pattern, your life will begin to change overnight. It may be so small that nobody else sees it except you, but change is one pattern away. It's not up to anybody else. It's up to you. You can do this. I'm Stephen Peterson. I thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you again next week.